just one of the many hurdles they constantly face. But if the problem persists, it could cause them to raise prices or adjust their product offering. Keith Peters reporting.
President Trump vows his administration will make sure that a major natural gas pipeline in Alaska gets built. That's drawn new attention to a project that's been a long-standing dream for Alaskan leaders, but has languished for years. More details, SRNnews.com.
1075 Tri-State Gospel WIOK, Falmouth, Cincinnati. 570 Southern Kentucky Gospel WIDS, Russell Springs, Jamestown.
And WIDS rebroadcasting on W240DB, Russell Springs, Kentucky, 95.9 FM.
I just wanted to let Dr. Youssef know that I pray for his safety, and I so enjoy listening to him because he's so enthused about his message, because I know he loves the Lord so very much. He is born again, and you can hear it in his sermon, and it's just thrilling to listen to his messages from the Lord. It's very inspirational, and I thank the Lord for him, and I pray that he will be able to continue his messages wherever the Lord calls. Thank you.
Thank you for joining devoted listeners across 6 continents for Leading the Way audio with Dr. Michael Youssef. If Leading the Way has impacted your life in a special way, Dr. Youssef would love to hear about it. Call our special testimony line at 877-941-7934. Just follow the prompts. Let us know your story. Again, that number is 877-941-7934. And learn more about Dr. Youssef and the worldwide impact of this ministry by visiting us. We're at ltw.org. ltw.org. These days, you don't need to go far to hear something about someone's identity. The culture's made identity.
And if you want to thank the folks from WIOK 107.5 FM on the radio dial, Post Office Box 50, Falmouth, Kentucky, 41040 zip code. Gil and Jan Hammond, stewards of WIOK for 34 years. God bless them in their work and the beautiful music and sermons they bring us every day to June Geiman-Stephenson and myself, John Stephenson. God bless you all and have a great day. February the 19th, I believe it is. And Wednesday, missed the Optimist Club today because we got 3 MRIs to do.
This friend will give you a complete confidence in your identity in Christ. In verse 4, 1 Peter, as you come to Christ. Now I'm going to stop here before I get to the rest of the verses. As you come to Christ. What is he saying here? This is important. That's why I'm going to stop here for just one sentence and get back to the text. He indeed saying that before we came to Christ, we were nobody. I don't care how high you might be in society, how rich you are were nobody as far as heaven was concerned. Before we came to Christ, we were dead dust. Before we came to Christ, we were dead in the water. Before we came to Christ, we had no real, permanent, and lasting identity. Before we came to Christ, we were dead stones. But then Jesus came and breathed us and became living stones. A lot of things. One of these images that he uses, they're built on a Jesus who's not God the Son. It's built on a Jesus who's not the only way to the Father, the only way to heaven. It's built on a Jesus who is the man's creation in their imagination. Built on a Jesus who's weak and helpless. Built on a Jesus who's obedient to man. No wonder these churches are falling apart.
I see everything but urology.
They will fall apart. Listen to me.
All right.
You get the cornerstone right in your life, and everything will fall in place. You get Jesus there as the cornerstone of your life, as the Savior and Lord of your life, and your life will be built on Him. When you discover the right,
What do you want to do?
Well, we happen to be here at Dr. Allen's office, my urologist, from my accident January the 4th. And I just wanted to say to the great staff that's out here and pass the word on to the doctor too and all the nurses, you are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to God. And you are beautiful to God. All of you are. And the other day I sang it to a little 2-week-old baby with their mother and sang it and whistled it for her and put it all on YouTube and Facebook so people could see it. And it was a wonderful experience. Well, God bless you all and thank you now. Have a nice day. Now I can do this because my wife's out in the car. And she's always telling me, John, behave yourself. But she loves me. She's the smartest move I ever made. Nice to see you. What's your name? Nice to see you, and God bless you. You have a good day now, okay? Thank you very much. Listening to WIOK 107.5 FM on the radio dial. Post Office Box 50, Falmouth, Kentucky 41040 zip code. Gil and Jan Hammond, 34 years of stewardship at WIOK 107.5 FM. Great music, great sermons, great people. Love them dearly. June Geiman-Stephenson and John Stephenson travels with the Stephensons on YouTube and Facebook. Had a wonderful day getting treated from my accident January the 4th over at St. Elizabeth Hospital, MRIs, and the doctor and the really great doctors that Dr. Charles Tyrone, and Dr. Stamper, I think it was, with my knee, and Ortho CINCY, and the great Mr. Allen, Dr. Allen, urologist, heart doctor, my Greek physician. I think his name's Creontis, isn't it, Jim? The Greek doctor, the heart doctor. Casitas, okay. Casitas. And my other heart doctor is great help also. As we travel out past the new church on the left, Resurrection Church, where my neighbor lives up there, and I haven't got to call her back yet, my relative, and I need to get her called back and go out to the log cabin someday. But with the accident and everything else, I've missed a lot of things to be able to do, including the Optimist Club today, and their 100-year anniversary is coming up, and we want to be ready for that. Great Pioneer Park. John Breckenridge, Congressman John Breckenridge, and myself, and some great people helped to get the funds brought in to build this Pioneer Park and Doe Run Lake with a 90-10 match. Great park. Pioneer Park. Great music. Did I give you that list of doctors?
Tri-State Gospel, WIOK, Falmouth, Cincinnati. 570 Southern Kentucky Gospel, WIDS, Russell Springs, Jamestown.
From SRN News, I'm John Scott. At least 2 people are dead after a mid-air collision involving 2 small planes in southern Arizona.
The National Transportation Safety Board says it is investigating the collision near Marana Regional Airport on the outskirts of Tucson. Police have closed the airport. Local reports on KGUN-TV say the airport is considered an uncontrolled field, meaning it does not have an air traffic control tower, which requires pilots to use a common traffic advisory frequency to communicate. George Williams reporting.
At a news conference, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says that state has already gotten a lot of snow as of this morning.
We had one part of our state that received 8 inches of snow, western Kentucky getting a significant amount, some parts with 6, plus here on the ground in Frankfort about 2 to 3, so right in line with the projections.
The storm that dropped snow in the Midwest promising to bring more misery to some places, just starting to clean up from deadly weekend flooding. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein says he's already declared a state of emergency to combat the storm. A polar vortex took over from Montana to southern Texas. Also at SRNnews.com, relations between the U.S. and Ukraine taking a turn for the worse.
President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky are engaged in a bitter public feud, which is souring relations between the 2 countries. Zelensky, unhappy that he was left out of talks to end the Ukraine-Russia war, said Donald Trump was living in a Russian-made disinformation space and wanted the White House team to be more truthful. The president snapped back, calling Zelensky a dictator without elections who better move fast before losing his country. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Stocks are higher. The Dow up 6 points. The NASDAQ Composite adding 49. This is SRN News.
Here, my schedule is about as crazy as it gets. 2 years ago, I made the decision to take control of my health. I chose my PhD weight loss and nutrition because I needed a plan that fit.
Traveling on home here. Just who?
Pause. And it was simple. They customized
I can't hear you.
my body.
Pause.
Oh, pause. Okay. As we pass our great flag here in Independence,
First 11
I
callers
wanna
who mentioned healthy
just say
will
a
get
special
2 free
thank
weeks
you to
added to their
Braden,
weight loss
Lauren,
package.
Stephanie,
452
Shannon, and
177
Kayla,
and mention
all
the word
workers
healthy.
there at the
Or visit them at myphdweightloss.com.
MRI
That is my
station at
PhDweightloss.com.
St. Elizabeth Hospital in Fort Thomas, Kentucky.
With about 5,000
Great job they did helping me get
next week for the
3
annual National Religious
MRIs
Broadcasters
done
Conference.
there.
Among the activities
And
they'll
thanks
encounter
for
will be an on-site blood
Dr.
drive sponsored by MDA, Israel's emergency medical service.
the
Allison
urologist,
Garden is Director of External Relations for American
for the
Friends
fine
of
work
MDA.
he did seeing me this earlier this morning. His name was,
after October 7,
the urologist's name is
not only funds but also ambulances to replace the ones destroyed by Hamas.
Alan.
As a natural
Yeah, that's right,
extension,
Alan.
felt that having
Dr.
a blood
Alan.
drive
And a
at
great
the
set of
NRB
nurses there.
conference for the benefit of
And,
the people of Dallas
I was
made a lot
tickled
of
to sing a
sense.
song for him there.
The Dallas area residents don't have to be registered at the NRB in order to join next week's
They're
MDA
great
blood drive.
shop there.
Americans are welcome to participate at the Gaylord.
Been a long day though for an old man, 81 years old, and a wonderful wife carrying me around. It's a burden at times, isn't it?
A federal judge in New York holds a hearing
Bless her heart.
on whether the Justice Department corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams may be dismissed.
Judge Dale Ho getting pushback from people saying not to sign off and indicating that this is only the first step in his decision. The Justice Department says the case is a distraction from the Democratic mayor helping President Trump with his immigration crackdown. 7 federal prosecutors and 4 deputy mayors resigned over the fallout from that request, and Governor Kathy Hochul has been holding meetings over whether to remove Adams, who says he did nothing wrong. Julie Walker, New York.
That hearing is underway. The Trump administration designating 8 Latin American crime organizations as foreign terrorist organizations, upping its pressure on cartels operating in the U.S. and on anyone that is aiding them. More details at srnnews.com.
WIDS rebroadcasting on W240DV, Russell Springs, Kentucky, 95.9 FM.
And WIOK 107.5 FM.
We all carry deep emotional wounds and scars.
Also, this goes back to like the idea about age, that Trump may be closing in on 80, but when it comes to technology, he's right up there. He understands AI. He can hang with these tech bros, and it's pretty seamless. This is not like the Joe Biden 80 or 79 we saw. Last, the Democrats have a problem with this story because if a doctor tells you that they need to remove a polyp from your colon, but they need to put a camera up there, and you're like, no, you're not putting a camera up there. It's like, well, are you hiding something in your butt? You know, it's like it's going to save your life, and that's all Doge is basically a bureaucratic colonoscopy, which is necessary. And I think this is also why we needed an outsider. We had oversight committees, and we had inspectors generals.